Nothing is ever 100% absolute. That includes me, that includes this channel, that includes pretty much every single thing in life. And some areas, I am clearly going to fail to provide you with a cheap alternative, something that you can just kind of go with whatever and you're good, right? There are clearly things that I just can't do that with. In the case of drones, what I essentially want to do is help you save money by not making a mistake. And that mistake is thinking that a cheap drone is going to be sufficient. Now, drones, in my opinion, and of course every person's individual situation varies, but drones, in my opinion, are a huge benefit, especially in prepping after an SHTF situation. That way you can gather intel, you can see what's going on, and you can do so from a safe location. And so what I want to do is I want to talk to you. I don't have a big selection of drones. You see what I have here. I've got 3 drones. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to explain to you the capabilities and whatnot of these drones, the cost of them and stuff like that, just to kind of give you an idea of how much is going to give you, if that makes any sense. So before we get started though, I do want to just make you aware, just so you know, that everybody that flies a drone, whether it's considered a toy class drone, and we're going to get to that in a moment, a sub 250 gram toy class drone, like I said, we'll talk about that in a second, you will still even need what they call a trust certificate. And it doesn't cost you anything. I'm just hiding my information, my number on there. It doesn't cost you anything. You go to the website, you do it, and to my knowledge, you cannot even fail this test. Okay, from my understanding, the way that it's set up, you can't even fail that particular test. So, however, if you want to fly a heavier drone, and all of this that I'm talking about is merely flying for recreational purposes. That's it. So if you want to fly a drone that weighs over 250 grams, you have to have a what they call a small UAS certificate of registration, right? And you only need to get this once. You don't have to do it for every single one of your drones. You put the same number, because you have to put it on the drone. You put the same number on all your drones, as long as this is for recreational pilots only, okay? And this is what that looks like, okay? And this is also a test that you can take online, and I can't remember. I think it was like $5 or something like that, and to take this particular test. And you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You do as you see fit when it comes to the test, the registration, and all that stuff. That is your decision. So let's go ahead and get started here, and I'm kind of gonna go from little to big, and I don't necessarily mean that by drone size. I mean that essentially by cost and capability. Okay, so let me just kind of scoot these off to the side, because this is the first one we'll be talking about here. Get these off to the side, and again, this is the first drone that I bought. This is a Potensic D58 model. Now, again, I want to try to save you from making mistakes and spending money that essentially does you no good. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this drone does you no good. In fact, I'm going to tell you the opposite. I'm going to tell you that you need a cheap, and let me put that in quotes, okay, that you need a cheap drone, one that doesn't have all kinds of crazy technology in it. And the reason why is because, like with the DJI drones, and I'll talk more about it in a minute, they can actually, you know, control where it is you can and cannot fly. There are places that this drone will not take off because it won't let it. The software just won't let the drone take off, because perhaps you're in an area near an airport or something like that. And so it's more or less geographically locked, and you know, the company and the government decides when and where I should say, your drone is locked. So you could see where possibly in some certain situations after SHTF, to where other people having control over your equipment like that may not be a good idea. So that's why I recommend that you have, and again, quotations, a cheap drone in the mix as well. Now, I keep doing this quotations, and you might be asking why. And I'll put the links to these drones down in the description of the video. Amazon affiliate links. Yes, I'll get a kickback if you use the link. If you don't want to use my link to, to allow me to get the kickback, then just search the name of the drone in Amazon and purchase away. I don't want anybody to feel obligated. This channel's not about making money. It's about hopefully saving you money. And so here is, again, the Potensic D58, my first drone. The price of this drone currently is $189.99. Now, hey, breathe easy. There was a $20 off coupon that you could have checked that would have knocked it down to $169.99. But I think you kind of get the idea that when I say cheap, there's no such thing. This drone, even though it's kind of close to $200, is not a real good choice. And the reason why is because of its limitations, okay? It really can't fly that far away. And the camera on it's not, super great. It's sufficient. It's not super great. Flight time on it isn't real super. Pretty much nothing about it is super. The biggest problem is how far the remote will transmit to the drone, or I should say the other way around. The drone will transfer to the remote, or even more importantly, your phone, okay? Because this uses a Wi-Fi connection to connect to your phone, and that is how you view what it is that's on the camera. The problem is that's not a very strong Wi-Fi connection. And so once you get merely about 100 feet away or so with this drone, you lose that connection. Well, 100 feet's not a very good distance, and again, once you lose that feed, you're flying by what they call line of sight. You have to have, and you're supposed to do that legally anyway. You're only supposed to fly line of sight, but we're talking post-SHTF stuff, so let's forget about that stuff. And anyway, you can't really fly this drone very far. Now, I don't know how far the controller will allow you to fly it because I've never tried. Simply because, like I say, the feed goes out. But one of these, a drone like this is kind of important because this does not have the limitations in it, okay? No company can lock me out of being able to fly this drone. So that's why I think it is important to have one of the cheap drones. Now, this is considered, I mentioned earlier, and I don't mean to offend anybody that's got inexpensive drones and stuff, but this is what they call a toy drone class, okay? Mainly because it's not a very sophisticated drone, and also because it's under 250 grams. That puts it in what they call a toy class of drone. So, again, it's just a basic drone. And I've got 3 batteries for mine. Anytime they offer something like DJI calls a Fly More package, you want to go with that, because like with their Fly More packages, you typically get 3 batteries with the drone instead of just 1, and you get other accessories that are extremely handy. So anyway, here's a little Potensic drone. Here's what the batteries look like in it. I've got it upside down so the contacts can't touch. But it's not anything spectacular, anything fancy, but it absolutely is something that you can put up above the trees. And, even if you lose speed, just because you lose speed to your phone, the live camera feed doesn't mean that you lose speed to the controller, okay? The controller will go a heck of a lot further than what, the video feed will stay going to your phone. And so it does take an SD card in the back here. And so with your controller, you have the ability back here to press the button and take pictures or video, if I go the right direction here, pictures or video right there. And so just because your phone's no longer connected to the drone doesn't mean that you're not able to take pictures or start video recording or anything like that, because you can, as long as the controller is. And yes, I am missing one of the antenna pieces. I did that. I was doing everything I could trying to figure out how I could increase the range of this thing, and it's pretty much a lost cause. But again, not a lot of capability, and it's almost 200 bucks for this drone. So it's like, it's kind of like, wow, you know. So let's go ahead and move up, we shall say, in the drone world here. Let me just kind of get this set off to the side. Try to, anyway. And like I said, that one, I'll leave the link down there, but it's $189.99. Right now, at the time of this video, I saw there was a $20 coupon you could get off on it. But here's the thing. If you're getting your first drone, don't get that one. Get one that's more capable. Okay, and I'm only showing you DJI drones here next because that's all I have. There are other couple brands out there. Hubsan is one, Fimi is another, and they make decent drones. Would I buy one for SHTF, so to speak? No. I'm just being straight honest with you. No. They've had, I mean, and DJI's had their share of issues, but the others, I know Fimi's had a bunch of issues, and I think Hubsan's been plagued with them here and there. So it is what it is. This here is called a DJI Mavic Mini. Now, this was a $500 drone. It was the Fly More combo, so I've got the extra batteries and all that stuff with it. I will not recommend you buy this drone. Absolutely not. Why? Well, because the one capability that this particular drone lacks in is wind. And this thing just will not handle wind very well. Now, this is the first rendition of this particular model of drone. This is the original Mavic Mini. They do have a DJI Mini 2, which I will recommend. I'll put a link to the renewed version of that. You can buy a brand new one too, and I can't remember what the brand new one costs, but the renewed is DJI goes over it all. You're getting a new drone, right? You get the same warranty and all that. You just save a little bit of money, and wait a minute, that's why we're here. So they have a renewed DJI Mini 2, and I'll link it below, for $499. Same price that I paid for this, and it is the Fly More combo. So let me show you what we got here. And I've got a bunch of extra accessories thrown in here too, just so you know. Here's the drone itself, and this thing, if you look at the size of my hand next to it, I've got small hands, okay? You look at the size of my hand next to it, this thing is tiny. It's tiny, it's light, and I would say this drone touches upon the toy class drones, okay? In my opinion, this is much more advanced than what most of your toy class drones would be. It is sub 250 gram. It is under 250 grams. Well, that is without the motor covers. Those are added accessories there. Big arguments back and forth on those motor covers. Some say they'll cause the apocalypse, and others with common sense realize they don't really have any effect on the drone, negative effect on the drone whatsoever. So. But anyway, I guess you know what side of the aisle I'm on with that. So this is a DJI Mavic Mini, and again, they've got the Mini 2, which is what I will recommend down below. And this, though, is just an incredible. The Mini 2 is even more capable than this. And this is an incredible drone. This was my first DJI drone, and boy, I'll tell you what, when you fly this versus like that Potenzic, immediately your jaw hits the ground and you're just like, wow. And I mean, it's just insane. So this is the battery hub that comes with it. Now the Fly More kit for the Mini 2 comes with, it's a gray one, and the batteries look a little different, but you'll get a 3 battery charge hub with the Mini 2 Fly More combo as well. This is what the individual batteries look like for the Mini 1. The Mini 2, again, They look very, very similar, and if I'm not mistaken, you can actually use the Mini 1 batteries in the Mini 2 and the Mini 2 batteries in the Mini 1, if I'm not mistaken. So that is, and they tell you there's a button to do that too. You can press the button and it'll tell you what your battery levels are, and then you can actually, well, you charge with that port there, and then that port you could actually charge whatever with. It will actually use the power that's in the batteries, that's stored in the batteries, and you could charge your phone, charge your controller, or whatever, you know. Probably wouldn't work too well though if you just took a cord and plugged it into there, looped it around and plugged it into there. I don't think it would work out self-charging so well, but it's kind of a joke. No, it wouldn't. Don't try it. So you get the plug with it, you get a couple cords with it. These are lights that I bought. These don't come with it, but ooh, look at that, all fancy, huh? So I bought those and to help me see it better when I do night flying. We'll get to that here momentarily as well. That is also why I will mention real quick, in case you're wondering, that's why I have the hook and loop or the Velcro dots on top, and we'll get to that in a moment because that's in the other case. So anyway, that's the DJI Mavic Mini 1. The Mini 2 dropped the Mavic name, whatever reason. The Air 2 did too. They dropped the Mavic name. So anyway, on the 2S, that is. This, like I say, good drone. I would go for the 2 instead of the 1. And it is much more capable of handling the winds and stuff like that. And the drone itself is more capable. The remote and drone on the Mini 2 uses what they call OcuSync 2, which is much better than this one here, which is the older style controller. This is a Gen 1 controller, Gen 2 controller, I believe. And then I'll show you the Gen 3 controller here in a second. But this is the Gen 2 controller, and it comes with the Mavic Mini 1. It comes with a lot of drones, but the Mavic Mini 1, and then the Mini 2 actually comes with the Generation 3 controller, and which is the same controller that you're going to see here with the other drone. So let me set this one off to the side. And we'll pull out this one. So this is a Mavic Air 2 here, and I'm going to have to probably turn that sideways to make this happen. So this is a Mavic Air 2. This thing, I love this thing. Here's the controller I was telling you about. This is a Gen 3 controller. This here uses the OcuSync 2. The Mavic Mini, or not Mavic, but the Mini 2 also uses OcuSync 2, so they use the same type of transmission. Really good transmission. I think the latest, like the DJI FPV drone and the DJI Mavic 3, which is a brand new, very expensive drone that hit the market, is actually on OcuSync 3 now. But nonetheless, OcuSync 2 is definitely an awesome transmission. It all depends on your terrain and everything else as to the range. And you're not supposed to fly beyond line of sight, okay? So with that in mind, one day I was flying and a squirrel knocked the controller out of my hands and took control of the drone and flew the drone 1.5 miles away. This drone right here, this very drone you're looking at, that squirrel, man, I'm telling you, I finally got the controller back from the squirrel and I got it back home and all that. The squirrel was absolutely punished, and so I don't think he'll be flying it beyond line of sight. But anyway, yeah, this is an awesome drone. Now, this, you can get a renewed version of the Mavic Air 2, the Fly More Combo. Now, it doesn't come with this case, okay? But you can get a renewed version of it right now on Amazon for $899. And I'll put that link in the description as well. So, I believe I paid like $1,200 for this drone when I bought it altogether. So, yeah, not cheap. There is really no such thing as a cheap drone. I mean, sure, you can go to Walmart, but it's not going to be a capable drone. Anyway, let me pull this one out and show you here. Show you its size. It is much bigger, much heavier, much more capable than either the Mini 1 or the Mini 2. Now the Mini 2 will actually hold its weight with the Mavic Air 2 here. The Mini 2 will actually hold its weight with the Mavic Air 2 when it comes to winds. Believe it or not, that Mini 2 is pretty incredible. And just so you can see the camera on it, that's the camera. It's got a gimbal protector, and you always want to keep that gimbal protector on it when you're not getting ready to fly. It's the last thing you want to pull off and the first thing you want to put on. So anyway, like I say, very, very awesome drone here. I like this drone a lot. The Velcro, I told you, is for a light, and so you have to, if you fly at night, you have to have a strobe light on your drone. And so watch your eyes. That is exactly what this is. It's a strobe light for the drone. And as you've seen on the bottom, or on the top of the drones, there's hook and loop or Velcro. And there's the same thing on the bottom, of course, the opposite side of Velcro or hook and loop. And it just simply sticks right on top of the drone. And you turn it on, and then it makes you legal to fly at night. So anyway, thought I would share that with you. It comes with 3 batteries, and these are, in my opinion, I think they're really awesome batteries. I think this drone is just incredible in just about every way that there is. Now this comes with a little bit of a different type of charging system. This is your charge block here. Of course, you got a cord that's right here that plugs in, and then this plug right here, you can either charge the batteries one at a time, or this is a charge block, and you can plug this into the charge block and plug all 3 batteries in. Now it doesn't charge all 3 batteries at the same time, neither does the other one, the Mavic Mini. It will charge the battery that's got the most in it. It will charge it first, and then once it's full, it will go to the next battery that's got the most in it. So it only charges 1 battery at a time, and it goes with which battery has the most charge in it is what it charges first, gives priority to, so that way it will kind of help you get up in the air a little bit quicker. That's the idea behind it. So and then with this didn't come with it. This is my my little USB reader there, but it comes with extra props. You see extra props down there. This here is ND filters that they come with, you know, stuff photographers typically use. And then this here is kind of cool, and this comes with the Fly More combo. What you do with this is you plug this in to your, oops, I believe that's the wrong way. You plug this into your battery. No, wait a minute, hang on, I had it right. I'm just an idiot sometimes. So you plug that into your battery like that, and then you can turn your battery on, which is a tap and then hold. And then now the battery's on. Okay, there's not much juice in it. Now the battery's on, and there you go. You've got 2 USB ports to be able to charge your phone or whatever type of USB device. So, kind of a cool little feature, right? So, and that comes with the Fly More combo, like I said. I honestly have never used that. I wouldn't use drone batteries for, you know, just charging various things, because the batteries are very expensive. And, you know, every time you run the battery through a cycle, that's one less cycle out of its life. So, anyway, you know, again, this one here is, oh, wait, I'm sorry. I told you $8.99, I think. Sorry, my paper. I've got a paper over here, and it's a little far away. For the renewed one, I'm sorry, it's $849. So, I was 50 bucks off there. $849 for a renewed one. That means it's previously owned, but DJI themselves have gone through it completely, and it's going to be, trust me, it's going to be just fine if you get a renewed drone from DJI. DJI, in my opinion, I think they're a pretty awesome company. From what I've seen, they're a pretty stand-up company. So, you know, I can't really complain about what I've seen. I've not had to deal with anything like customer service or anything like that, but in different groups, I've seen multiple people that have, and they've got one guy that hangs out in the DJI groups, and he's a DJI customer service rep, and that guy is just incredible. I mean, he is just awesome. So anyway, I just kind of wanted you to see that. I wouldn't suggest getting anything at all less than the first drone I showed you that was $190, right? I really wouldn't suggest trying to go below that and get away with anything that's worth having. And again, the one that I showed you, the first one, the Potenzic D58, that's $190. That shouldn't be your first one. That's after you get a better one like the Mini 2 like I recommend, or the Air 2 like I recommend. There's an Air 2S too, but it's more expensive. There's a new Mavic 3 out. It's real expensive. You know, you can go as expensive as you want, but that's not what we're here for. I'm trying to give you the cheapest solutions possible. So anyway, that's what I have for you in the line of drones. I hope I didn't bore you too much, but it is something that I really do think that people need to consider in their preps. It is it puts you at a huge advantage to be able to get up in the air and take a peek around. And especially with a drone that will travel, you know, again, when that squirrel knocked that controller out of my hand and took over the drone, we were standing in town in the yard, so we wasn't out over a lake or anything like that. So you can probably, figure on getting at least somewhere close to the same type of range. Think about what kind of advantage that gives you. Think about that. Hope you have a great day. Hope I taught you something. Hope I somehow helped you. And shalom.